Discipline is the cornerstone of every truly great accomplishment. While the world often praises talent and luck, the truth is, those are not the true drivers of success. Talent without discipline remains potential, not power. Luck without discipline is fleeting. What truly separates those who achieve extraordinary results from those who settle into mediocrity is a consistent commitment to disciplined action. Discipline means showing up every single day, whether you feel like it or not. It means sticking to the plan when motivation fades and the excitement wears off. It's waking up early, staying focused, and resisting distractions even when everything in you wants to quit. The path to greatness is never a straight line. It is full of detours, setbacks, doubts, and discomfort. But discipline is what keeps you moving forward when the journey gets hard. It's the inner force that drives you to take action, even in the face of uncertainty. Greatness isn't born in moments of inspiration. It's built during the quiet, unseen hours of effort and commitment. When others choose the easy way out, the disciplined choose to stay the course. They train their minds to embrace discomfort, knowing that growth lives on the other side of challenge. History shows us that behind every great leader, thinker, or innovator is a story of relentless discipline. From Thomas Edison's countless failed experiments to Henry Ford's refusal to give up on his vision, their success was not a matter of chance. It was built on a foundation of focused, disciplined action repeated over time. They did what others weren't willing to do, and that made all the difference. Discipline is not just about hard work, it's about intentionality. It's about aligning your daily habits with your long-term vision and showing up with purpose, not just passion. Passion can ignite the spark, but discipline keeps the flame alive. If you want to achieve something remarkable, if you want to build a life of meaning and impact, then discipline must be your daily practice. Because in the end, discipline isn't just a skill, it's your competitive edge. It's the master key that unlocks the door to everything you've ever wanted. Consistency, not fleeting motivation, is the real engine behind long-term success. While motivation can spark a fire within you, that fire burns out quickly if it's not backed by disciplined action. The truth is, no one feels motivated every day. Life throws curveballs, stress, fatigue, doubt, and waiting to feel inspired before acting is a trap. Those who succeed don't rely on motivation. They rely on routines, habits, and discipline. They act even when they're tired, even when the mood isn't right, even when no one's watching. That's the quiet power of consistency. Think about anything meaningful you've ever achieved. It wasn't because of one burst of energy. It was the result of showing up repeatedly, doing the work, and pushing forward when it wasn't easy. Whether it's building a healthy body, launching a business, learning a new skill, or strengthening relationships, progress is built in small, repeated actions taken every day. That's what discipline provides, a foundation of reliability. It teaches you to keep promises to yourself, and over time, those small daily actions compound into major breakthroughs. Motivation is emotional. It comes and goes. But consistency is a decision. It's what carries you forward when your energy is low, when life is chaotic, or when self-doubt creeps in. People who master this principle aren't superhuman. They've just learned that results come from effort, not emotion. They've accepted that success isn't about always feeling good. It's about doing what needs to be done, regardless of how they feel in the moment. Consistency builds trust, both in yourself and from others. It proves that you're reliable, that you follow through, and that you're committed to growth. Over time, this builds confidence. The more consistent you are, the more you begin to believe in your ability to change and succeed. And belief, built on action, becomes unstoppable momentum. So if you want to achieve something meaningful, stop waiting for motivation to strike. Decide to be consistent instead. Create structure, build habits, and make discipline your daily companion. It may not feel exciting, but it works. Because in the end, It's not about how fired up you are today. It's about how many days you're willing to keep going. Consistency wins, always. Throughout history, some of the most iconic figures, Henry Ford, Thomas Edison, and Abraham Lincoln, rose to greatness not because they were immune to failure, but because they possessed unshakable discipline. Their paths were anything but smooth. They encountered doubt, ridicule, and setbacks that would have stopped most people in their tracks. But what set them apart wasn't talent alone. It was their relentless commitment to keep going, no matter the odds. Henry Ford faced immense skepticism when he set out to create an affordable automobile for the average person. People laughed at the idea of a horseless carriage. Yet Ford's discipline kept him focused. He didn't allow criticism to derail his vision. Day after day, he refined his designs, tested his ideas, and pushed forward until he revolutionized the way the world moves. Thomas Edison is another powerful example. He failed thousands of times while attempting to invent the electric light bulb. To most, that kind of failure would seem insurmountable. But Edison saw each failed attempt as a step closer to success. His discipline didn't just drive innovation, it shaped the way modern civilization functions. Genius, he once said, is 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration. That single quote captures the essence of what it means to live with disciplined persistence. Abraham Lincoln's story is equally inspiring. He lost elections, failed in business, and endured crushing personal losses. Yet, he never quit. His disciplined mindset allowed him to rise from humble beginnings to become one of the most revered presidents in American history. It wasn't because he had an easy path. It was because he refused to give up, no matter how hard things became. These historical icons serve as a reminder that discipline is more powerful than talent, luck, or even intelligence. It's the ability to keep moving when everything inside you says stop. It's the steady hand in the storm, the daily action when no one is watching, the quiet strength that refuses to surrender. If they could persist through adversity that deep, then so can we. Their legacies weren't built overnight. They were forged through years of disciplined effort. Let their stories remind you that greatness isn't reserved for the lucky. It belongs to those who show up day after day and do the work. Discipline is what carries you from potential to power. Adversity is a guaranteed part of life. No one escapes it, whether in relationships, careers, health, or personal dreams. But what separates those who grow from hardship and those who are crushed by it is one crucial trait: discipline. Discipline doesn't remove adversity, but it transforms how you respond to it. It's the inner force that keeps you grounded when everything around you is falling apart. It shifts your mindset from, "Why is this happening to me?" to, "What can I learn from this?" When life hits hard, when you lose a job, face rejection, or deal with failure, your first instinct may be to retreat, to give in to frustration or self-pity. But discipline invites a different response. It helps you pause, reflect, and push forward with intention. Instead of allowing setbacks to define you, discipline teaches you to see them as stepping stones, opportunities to build resilience, sharpen your skills, and deepen your character. Think about the people you admire most. They didn't achieve greatness by avoiding adversity. They rose because they had the discipline to stand tall in the face of it. They used difficulty as fuel, not an excuse. Discipline gave them the clarity to assess the situation, extract the lesson, and keep moving forward with purpose. Without discipline, challenges become overwhelming. You react impulsively, lose focus, or give up too soon. But with discipline, adversity becomes a teacher. You develop patience, you build grit, and you learn to trust that setbacks are not the end of the road, but often the beginning of a better one. It's not about being emotionless or unaffected. It's about staying committed, even when things get uncomfortable. Discipline keeps you consistent when motivation fades. It gives you the structure to rebuild after failure and the strength to keep showing up when progress feels slow. Whether you're in your 30s or your 70s, the principle remains the same. life will test you. But discipline gives you the edge. It allows you to reframe your pain into purpose and your struggles into stories of strength. In every moment of adversity, you have a choice to quit or to grow. Discipline makes growth possible. So the next time you're faced with hardship, don't ask for an easier path. Ask for the discipline to walk it with courage. Because in the end, the greatest opportunities often hide inside the toughest challenges, and discipline is the key that unlocks them. Discipline and self-belief are two sides of the same coin, each reinforcing the other to create the foundation of lasting success. On their own, each has power, but together, they become unstoppable. Self-belief gives you the vision. It tells you that your goals are possible, that you are worthy of achievement, even if no one else believes it. Discipline, on the other hand, gives you the structure to turn that belief into reality. Without one, the other falters. You can believe in your dreams all day long, but if you don't take consistent action, belief alone won't bring results. Likewise, you can have all the discipline in the world, but if you lack faith in yourself, you'll hesitate, second guess, and hold back from taking the bold steps needed for real growth. The most successful individuals understand this connection. They believe in who they are becoming, and they prove that belief through disciplined action every single day. Consider someone who wakes up early each morning to work toward their goal. At first, it's difficult. There's resistance, doubt, and discomfort, but with each action taken, whether it's writing one more page, making one more call, or learning one more skill, belief gets stronger. They start to trust their process. They see progress. That progress builds momentum, and soon, belief and discipline create a cycle that elevates everything. On the flip side, when belief starts to fade, when you're tired, discouraged, or unsure, discipline steps in as your anchor. It reminds you of your purpose and keeps you moving forward even when motivation isn't there. It's the commitment to keep showing up, to keep doing the work, and to keep trusting that your efforts are not in vain. This combination becomes your personal power source. Self-belief lights the fire, discipline keeps it burning. The more you act with discipline, the more confident you become. The more confident you feel, the more disciplined you remain. It's a cycle that builds mental strength, emotional resilience, and lasting achievement. So, if you're chasing a dream, don't just wish for belief or try to will it into existence. Back it with daily action. Let discipline prove your faith in yourself. When you combine belief with structure, focus, and follow-through, you no longer hope for success. You create it. Every step, no matter how small, is a declaration. I believe in who I am becoming. That belief, fueled by discipline, will carry you further than talent or luck ever could. When your work is fueled by passion, discipline shifts from a burden to a natural rhythm. Passion is the inner fire that makes waking up early, staying focused, and pushing through challenges feel purposeful instead of painful. It turns routine effort into inspired action. While many people struggle to stay disciplined because they're chasing goals they don't truly care about, those who align their actions with what they genuinely love find discipline almost effortless. Passion gives your work meaning, and when something matters deeply to you, showing up for it no longer feels like a chore. It becomes a calling. Imagine the difference between someone forcing themselves to meet deadlines for a job they dislike and someone staying up late to work on a dream project that lights up their soul. The first requires constant willpower. The second flows naturally. That's the power of passion-driven discipline. It's not about grinding harder. It's about being pulled by something greater than comfort or convenience. But passion alone isn't enough. It must be paired with clarity. When you clearly define your goals, what you want, why it matters, and how you'll get there, discipline becomes targeted and sustainable. You're no longer wandering blindly or working aimlessly. You're following a path with purpose. Every task, no matter how small, feels like progress towards something that deeply resonates with you. This alignment between what you love and where you're going is what creates long-term momentum. It helps you endure setbacks, stay focused during hard times, and recover quickly from failure. You're not just working hard, you're building something meaningful. That difference is what sets successful people apart. Passion gives your discipline emotional fuel. Clarity gives it direction. Combined, they create a system that doesn't burn out over time, but grows stronger the more you use it. When you tap into this connection, you don't have to rely on fleeting motivation. You simply commit, show up, and move forward because you want to, not because you have to. So if you find yourself struggling with discipline, ask yourself, am I chasing what I truly care about? Are my goals clear and deeply connected to who I am? Because once passion and clarity are in place, discipline no longer feels forced. It becomes a natural extension of your purpose. And in that space, extraordinary things begin to happen. Not because you're trying harder, but because your heart and habits are finally working as one. Clarity is the cornerstone of disciplined action. Without it, dreams remain vague and directionless, like a ship drifting in open waters with no compass. You might feel busy, even exhausted, but if you don't know exactly where you're going, your energy gets scattered. True progress begins with clearly defined goals. When your vision is sharp, your discipline gains power. Every step you take has purpose. Every action you perform becomes part of a larger, meaningful journey. When your goals are clear, specific, measurable, and time-bound, you eliminate confusion. You know what needs to be done, when it needs to be done, and why it matters. That kind of clarity brings focus. And with focus comes the ability to say no to distractions, delay gratification, and commit to consistent effort. Discipline is not just about working hard. It's about working smart, with purpose driving your pace. Consider how different it feels to wake up each day knowing exactly what you're striving for, compared to simply hoping things will improve. The first creates motivation and movement. The second breeds frustration and fatigue. Clarity turns ordinary habits into powerful tools for achievement. You're not just going through the motions, you're building something with each action. Clarity also makes it easier to track progress. You can see when you're moving closer to your destination and when you need to adjust. It gives you checkpoints, momentum, and a sense of control. This feedback loop reinforces discipline. It reminds you that your efforts are paying off, even when results feel slow. And most importantly, clarity creates resilience. When challenges come, and they always do, it's your clear vision that keeps you grounded. It reminds you why you started. It helps you push through fatigue, failure, or fear because you're not just reacting. You're responding with purpose. You're not lost. You're on a path. So take the time to define your goals clearly. Write them down. Break them into actionable steps. Visualize your destination daily. Discipline thrives in this environment. It stops being a struggle and becomes a system. You stop second-guessing, stop hesitating, and start executing. In the end, the people who achieve extraordinary results are not always the most talented. They're the ones with clear goals and disciplined commitment. Clarity gives your discipline direction. And when your direction is clear, your energy becomes unstoppable. In a world that changes by the minute, staying relevant isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. Lifelong learning is no longer optional for those who want to stay sharp, competitive, and fulfilled. But learning doesn't happen by chance. It requires discipline. Discipline turns learning from a once-in-a-while event into a daily habit, a way of life that ensures you grow as the world evolves around you. Discipline in learning means making time every day, whether it's 15 minutes to read, listen, reflect, or study. It's the decision to feed your mind, even when it's easier to scroll, to sharpen your thinking instead of coasting on yesterday's knowledge. This kind of commitment doesn't just keep you informed, it keeps you empowered. When you learn consistently, you begin to think more critically, solve problems faster, and spot opportunities others miss. The most successful people, across industries and generations, have one thing in common. They never stopped learning. They stayed curious, stayed humble, and made learning a structured part of their routine. Whether it's reading books, attending workshops, studying trends, or simply reflecting on daily experience, disciplined learners build wisdom over time, and that wisdom compounds. Without discipline, it's easy to fall into complacency. You tell yourself you'll catch up later, but later becomes never, and before long, the world has moved on and left you behind. Disciplined learners avoid this trap. They stay current, they adapt, they lead. And it's not just about professional success. Lifelong learning adds depth to your personal life, too. It improves communication, deepens relationships, sharpens decision making, and even boosts mental resilience. The brain, like a muscle, must be exercised to stay strong. Discipline gives you that edge. So, if you want to grow, start now. Choose one area to develop. Commit to a daily habit. It doesn't have to be long, just consistent. Let discipline be the quiet force that opens new doors, expands your perspective, and builds your confidence. Because in a fast-moving world, it's not the strongest who thrive, it's the most adaptable. And adaptability is fueled by disciplined learning. Don't wait to be taught by crisis. Stay ahead by making growth a daily priority. With discipline, you won't just survive the future, you'll shape it. In a world where change is the only constant, adaptability isn't just a helpful trait, it's a survival skill. But true adaptability doesn't come from winging it or reacting on impulse. It comes from discipline. Discipline provides the internal structure that allows you to face uncertainty with clarity and respond to change with wisdom instead of panic. When life throws unexpected challenges, whether it's a career shift, a personal setback, or a global disruption, it's easy to feel overwhelmed. Emotions rise, fear kicks in, and poor decisions often follow. But disciplined individuals are different. They don't react emotionally, they respond intentionally. Their minds have been trained to pause, to breathe, to assess the situation calmly before making a move. That pause, that moment of control, is where power begins. Discipline gives you the ability to stay grounded when everything around you is shifting. It allows you to stick to your values, even when circumstances try to pull you in other directions. This doesn't mean being rigid. On the contrary, discipline enables flexibility because it provides the internal confidence and structure needed to pivot effectively. Think of great leaders, innovators, or even resilient everyday people. They're not immune to change. They're just better prepared for it. Why? Because they've developed the habits and mindset that allow them to adapt without losing focus. They don't fall apart when plans go off course. Instead, they revise the plan and keep moving forward with discipline as their compass. Adaptability requires self-regulation. It requires you to manage stress, resist the urge to blame or dwell, and instead focus on what you can control. And that control comes from daily discipline, mental, emotional, and behavioral. Whether it's maintaining a morning routine, committing to personal growth, or holding yourself accountable to your standards, these small acts of discipline form a foundation that can withstand change. In fast-moving times, those who lack discipline often get swept away, but those with discipline stay steady, stay sharp, and often come out ahead, not because life was easier for them, but because they were better prepared. So when the next wave of change comes, and it will, ask yourself, will I react with fear or respond with focus? Will I retreat into comfort or adjust with purpose? Let discipline guide your adaptability, because when you train your mind to stay steady, no change is too big to navigate. ChatGPT said, "A disciplined mindset is more than just mental toughness. It's the lens through which you view every moment of life, especially the hard ones. When challenges arise, and they always will, it's not talent, luck, or circumstance that defines your path forward. It's your perspective. And that perspective is shaped and sustained by discipline. Most people are reactive. They allow external circumstances to dictate their internal state. A bad day at work, a harsh comment, or a sudden setback can send their mood spiraling. But those who've trained their minds, those with disciplined thinking, respond differently. They choose gratitude over frustration, optimism over despair, and courage over fear. This doesn't mean they ignore the reality of hardship. It means they've developed the mental habits to stay calm, think clearly, and focus on what they can control. Through daily discipline, they've built a mindset that doesn't collapse under pressure. It adapts, adjusts, and grows stronger. Gratitude becomes a practice, not a reaction. It's something they return to even when things aren't perfect, because they understand that even on tough days, there are blessings to count. Optimism isn't blind positivity. It's a trained belief that solutions exist, that failure's not final, and that growth is always possible. Courage, too, becomes a choice. While fear whispers, stay safe, discipline says, move forward anyway. And with every act of courage, no matter how small, confidence grows. It becomes easier to take action, to speak up, to risk and recover. Developing a disciplined mindset isn't about denying emotions. It's about mastering them. It means refusing to let temporary emotions create permanent decisions. It's catching yourself in negative self-talk and reframing your thoughts towards something more useful. It's building emotional resilience one thought at a time. Over time, this mental discipline rewires your perspective. Life doesn't get easier. You get stronger. Setbacks still happen, but you see them as stepping stones. Critics still speak, but their words don't define you. The world still tests you, but you know you're built to rise. In the end, a disciplined mind is your greatest ally. It helps you meet each day with clarity, calm, and purpose. So train it, strengthen it, and let it shape a perspective that turns adversity into growth, struggle into strength, and ordinary days into extraordinary progress. That's the power of discipline applied to how you think. Dreams don't come true through wishful thinking. They're built brick by brick through daily, disciplined action. No matter how big your vision is, without consistent effort, it will remain just that, a vision. Discipline is the force that turns those dreams into tangible results. It's not about waiting for the perfect moment. It's about acting, especially when the conditions are less than ideal. Many people make the mistake of waiting. They wait for motivation, for clarity, for the right timing. But waiting often turns into weeks, months, even years of delay. What separates high achievers from the rest is their ability to move forward anyway. They act even when they're tired, even when they don't feel ready, and especially when the road ahead looks uncertain, because they understand that momentum is built through motion, not contemplation. Discipline is what carries you through when inspiration fades. It's the quiet commitment to show up, do the work, and honor your goals, even when no one is watching. It's setting a plan and sticking to it, whether that means waking up an hour earlier, tackling one task at a time, or saying no to distractions that steal your focus. Each day, you're faced with a choice. Take a step forward or stand still. Disciplined individuals make that choice deliberately. They know that even small steps, when taken consistently, create powerful progress over time. They don't chase perfection. They pursue consistency because they know the results will follow. And when setbacks come, and they always do, discipline keeps you grounded. It reminds you of your purpose. It gets you back on track. It's not about avoiding failure. It's about committing to bounce back from it with more clarity, strength, and determination. There is no shortcut to success. The people you admire, the ones who've built meaningful lives, businesses, and legacies, they didn't get there overnight. They got there by showing up day after day, doing what needed to be done, regardless of mood or convenience. That's the kind of discipline that builds lasting success. So ask yourself, what one action can I take today that moves me closer to my dream? Then do it. And tomorrow, do it again. When you make discipline a daily habit, you won't just chase your goals, you'll catch them. Because in the end, it's not talent or timing that wins. It's daily, disciplined action. Legacy is not just about wealth, titles, or achievements. It's about the impact you leave behind, the values you instill, the example you set, and the foundation you build for those who come after you. At the core of every meaningful legacy is one powerful trait: discipline. Discipline is the daily decision to live with purpose, act with integrity, and stay committed to something greater than yourself. When you choose discipline, you're not just improving your own life, you're planting seeds that future generations will benefit from. Your children, your grandchildren, your community, they're watching how you handle struggle, how you stay focused in the face of adversity, and how you make decisions when it would be easier to compromise. Discipline teaches them that true strength is not in talent alone, but in the choices we make every day. Legacy is built in the small, quiet moments. The early mornings when you rise to work toward a goal, the times you choose principle over comfort, the days you persist even when no one applauds. These are the bricks that build lasting impact. People won't remember every word you say, but they will remember the consistency of your actions. They'll feel the ripple effect of your habits, your perseverance, and your discipline. Think of the people who inspired you: parents, mentors, leaders. Most often, what left a mark wasn't their possessions, but their example, their ability to stay calm under pressure, their dedication to their craft, their refusal to quit when things got hard. That's the power of disciplined living. It transcends personal ambition and becomes a guiding light for others. To leave a disciplined legacy, you must live intentionally. Define your values, set clear goals, align your daily actions with those principles. Discipline gives your life structure, clarity, and direction. And over time, it builds something unshakable: character. In a world full of distractions where instant gratification is praised, choosing discipline makes you stand out. It shows others what's possible when you live with conviction. It proves that commitment, responsibility, and focus still matter and always will. So ask yourself, what example do I want to leave behind? What kind of life will my children, peers, and community remember? Begin building that answer now, with disciplined action, lived daily. Because the most powerful legacy is not what you leave for others, but what you leave in them. Let your life be a testament to what discipline can achieve, not just for you, but for generations to come. In life, success rarely comes from luck or talent alone. It is born from discipline, clarity, and persistence. One powerful truth that holds especially true as we age is this: discipline gives direction and purpose to every stage of life. Whether you're 30 or 70, the habits you practice daily shape your outcomes. Setbacks will come, but with discipline, you see them not as dead ends, but as valuable lessons. Having clearly defined goals and staying committed to them, even on days when motivation is low, keeps your mind sharp and your spirit resilient. Discipline helps you manage your time, your health, and your relationships with intention. It's the difference between drifting through retirement and living it with purpose. Even 15 minutes a day of reading, walking 1 mile, or journaling your thoughts can bring clarity and peace. In American culture, where independence and self-reliance are deeply valued, discipline is your compass. It's never too late to start again, to learn something new, or to become a stronger version of yourself. Your legacy isn't defined by what you dreamed of. It's built by what you consistently do. Let discipline guide you, one day, one step, one choice at a time.